The rain hammered against the floor-to-ceiling windows of the Pike Place loft like it had a personal grudge, mirroring the storm raging in Alex Harlan's chest as he clutched the DNA test results in his trembling hand. 5 years ago, in a haze of bourbon and buried resentment, had let his college rival Ryan Caldwell cross a line neither of them could uncross, but now those faded sheets of paper screamed the truth. Their one reckless night hadn't ended childless. And as the elevator dinged open behind him, revealing Ryan standing there soaked and stunned, Alex realized the fragile world he'd built for his son was about to shatter. Alex had always known Ryan Caldwell was poison wrapped in charm, the kind that seeped into your veins before you even felt the sting. Back at Evergreen State University in Olympia, Washington, they were the unlikeliest of adversaries. Alex, the brooding art major with paint under his nails and dreams too big for the damp evergreen forests, versus Ryan, the golden boy business was whose family owned half the tech startup sprouting up in Seattle's rainy sprawl. They clashed in every shared class, every campus debate, Ryan's sharp wit slicing through Alex's quiet intensity like a knife through fog. But beneath the barbs and the stolen glances that lingered too long, there was something electric unspoken, a pull that neither would name. That pull ignited one stormy night in their senior year, during an alumni mixer at a dimly lit bar overlooking Puget Sound. Alex had shown up to network, his portfolio tucked under his arm like a shield, but Ryan was there too, back from a stint in Silicon Valley, his suit tailored to perfection, that infuriating smirk playing on his lips as he cornered Alex by the whiskey shelf. "Still painting those sad little landscapes, Harlan? Or have you finally grown up?" Ryan's voice was low, teasing, but his eyes held a hunger that made Alex's pulse quicken against his will. They drank too much, words turning to whispers, resentment fueling a fire that neither could douse. By midnight, they were stumbling into Ryan's hotel room at the Edgewater, the sound crashing outside like applause for their unraveling. Clothes hit the floor in a frenzy, hands exploring territories mapped by years of enmity. Alex remembered the taste of salt on Ryan's skin, the way his rival's breath hitched when Alex pinned him against the headboard, the raw vulnerability in those green eyes that Alex had never seen before. It was hate and need twisted into something primal, a collision that left them both bruised and breathless. Dawn came too soon and with it regret. Ryan was gone when Alex woke, leaving only a scrawled note. "One night. Don't make it more." Alex didn't. He buried it deep, finished his degree, and fled to Seattle proper, where the city's relentless drizzle matched his mood. He scraped by as a freelance illustrator, his work gracing indie book covers and local gallery walls, until a positive pregnancy test appended everything. The doctor confirmed it weeks later. A boy due in the fall. Panic clawed at Alex's throat, but so did a fierce protectiveness. He named the child Theo James Harlan, after his late grandfather who had taught him to fish in the misty streams of the Olympic Peninsula. Theo became his anchor, his 4-year-old whirlwind of curly brown hair and endless questions, with eyes that shifted from blue to green depending on the light, a haunting echo of the man Alex had sworn to forget. Life in their cramped Capitol Hill apartment was a rhythm of daycare drop-offs and late-night sketches, punctuated by the occasional date that fizzled under Theo's innocent gaze. Alex dated men who were safe, steady, baristas with tattoos or teachers with gentle smiles, but none stuck. How could they, when every laugh from Theo stirred ghosts? Ryan Caldwell had vanished into the ether of venture capital success, his name popping up in Forbes snippets about Caldwell Innovations, the hot new app turning Seattle's tech scene on its head. Alex avoided the articles, but fate, that cruel curator, had other plans. It started with an email from his agent. A commission for Caldwell Innovations branding. "Big money, Alex. They loved your mood boards." He almost declined, but Theo needed braces soon, and the fridge was echoing. The meeting was set at Ryan's sleek office in Belltown, all glass and steel overlooking the ferries slicing through the bay. Alex arrived early, heart pounding like a war drum, smoothing his button-down over jeans that suddenly felt too tight. Ryan strode in 10 minutes late, entourage in tow, his presence commanding the room like he owned the air itself. He was broader now, shoulders filling out his crisp shirt, that same dark hair cropped close, but the years had etched faint lines around his eyes, hints of the empire builder beneath the polish. Their gazes locked across the conference table, And for a split second the room blurred. Recognition flashed in Ryan's eyes, shock, then something darker, warmer. "Harlan," he said, voice rougher than Alex remembered, extending a hand that Alex shook too firmly, electricity sparking at the contact. The pitch went smoothly, Alex's concepts of fluid lines and shadowed depths earning nods from the team. But as they wrapped, Ryan lingered. "Join me for a drink? For old times?" It wasn't a question. Alex should have said no. But the ghosts whispered yes, and soon they were at a rooftop bar in South Lake Union, the city lights twinkling like distant stars through the mist. One drink became 3 words tumbling out in a rush. Regrets from college, Ryan's failed engagement to a venture capitalist's daughter, Alex's solitary path. The rain started as they talked, soft at first, then relentless, mirroring the downpour in Alex's chest. "That night," Ryan murmured, leaning close, his cologne mixing with the ozone scent, "I thought about it for months. Should have called." Alex's laugh was bitter. Wouldn't have answered. But his body betrayed him, leaning in, the old pull igniting like dry tinder. They left together, tumbling into Alex's apartment in a blur of need and nostalgia. Theo was at a sleepover, thank God, and the bed creaked under their weight as they rediscovered each other, slower this time with kisses that tasted of what-ifs. Ryan stayed till morning, his arm heavy across Alex's waist, but by noon he was gone again, a text buzzing in. Complicated, but real. Weeks blurred into avoidance. Ryan ghosted the follow-ups, his team handling the contract remotely. Alex threw himself into revisions, sketching Ryan's profile in the margins, jaw set, eyes distant. Then the nausea hit, familiar and terrifying. The test confirmed it. Pregnant. Again. He spiraled, calling in sick for days, staring at Theos' drawings on the fridge as if they held answers. When he finally mustered the courage to text Ryan, the reply was a knife. "Not possible. We used protection." Denial turned to fury. Alex blocked him, vowing silence. But 4 years later, Theo was his light, oblivious to the storm. Until the day Ryan showed up at the daycare pickup, unannounced, holding a manila envelope. Alex spotted him from the playground fence, heart seizing. Ryan looked wrecked, unshaven, shirt untucked, eyes bloodshot. Theo ran to Alex, chattering about finger paints, but froze at the stranger's approach. "Alex," Ryan said, voice cracking, "we need to talk. Now." They ended up at a coffee shop on Broadway, Theo coloring on butcher paper while the 2 men sat across a scarred oak table, the DNA results between them like a guillotine blade. Ryan had hired a PI after seeing Alex at a gallery opening, piecing together timelines, demanding a test in secret. The results? 99.9% match. Theo was his. "I didn't know," Ryan whispered, head in hands. "God, Alex, I didn't know." Alex sipped his black coffee, bitter as his resolve. "Doesn't change a thing. He's mine." But as rain lashed the windows and Theo giggled at a spilled crayon, Alex felt the world tilt. Everything had changed whether he wanted it or not. The days following Ryan's revelation blurred into a tense standoff, Seattle's November gloom settling over Capitol Hill like a shroud. Alex kept Theo on a rigid schedule, park visits to the volunteer park conservatory where the glass palms whispered secrets, bedtime stories from dog-eared copies of Where the Wild Things Are. But Ryan was a shadow now, persistent as the fog rolling in from the sound. He texted apologies laced with please. "Let me meet him properly. Please." Alex deleted them at first, but one evening, as Theo built block towers mimicking the Space Needle, curiosity, or exhaustion won out. They met at Gasworks Park, the old gasification plant ruins hulking against the slate sky, a neutral ground where the wind off Lake Union carried away awkward silences. Theo clutched Alex's hand, eyeing Ryan warily as the man knelt to his level, offering a battered Seahawks football. "Hey buddy. Im Ryan. Your dad says you're a wizard with blocks." Theo tilted his head, those mercurial eyes narrowing. "Dad's the only wizard. He makes dragons fly on paper." But he took the ball, bouncing it once, twice, before a tentative smile cracked his face. Ryan laughed, a sound raw and unguarded, and Alex's chest tightened at the sight. The way Theos' curls caught the dying light, so like Ryan's own unruly waves. They walked the kite hill, Theo scampering ahead, while Ryan and Alex trailed, words heavy between them. I was scared back then, Ryan admitted, kicking a pebble into the grass. After college, my family. They had plans. Straight-laced boardroom future. That night with you, it was the first time I felt free. He glanced at Alex, vulnerability etching his features. Then you vanished. I searched but you changed your number. Alex snorted, though it lacked heat. Vanished? You bolted, Caldwell. Left a note like it was a hookup app glitch. The memory stung, fresh as the rain on his skin. Had spent months replaying it, wondering if Ryan had felt the same ache, the mornings after when the bed felt too vast. Ryan stopped, turning to face him, the city skyline a jagged backdrop. I was a coward, but seeing you now, with him, guts me. I want an Alex. Not just financially, I mean all of it. Dinners, school runs, the mess. Alex wanted to rage, to shove him away, but Theo's laughter echoed back from the hill, pulling at threads of what could be. It's not that simple. He's not a project. And us? We're oil and water. Or gasoline and fire, Ryan murmured, stepping closer, his hand brushing Alex's arm. The touch lingered, heat blooming despite the chill. And for a moment, Alex let himself remember the hotel room. The way Ryan's body had arched under his, whispers of surrender in the dark. They parted with a fragile truce. Ryan could visit twice a week, supervised, no overnights. Alex regretted it the second Ryan drove off in his sleek Tesla, but Theo chattered all evening about the football guy, drawing stick figures of them tossing it under cartoon suns. That night, alone in the dim glow of his drafting table, Alex sketched Ryan's face. Not the polished exec, but the man on the hill, windswept and hopeful. He burned the page at dawn, ashes scattering like doubts. Ryan proved diligent, showing up with puzzles from Elliott Bay Book Company and tickets to the Seattle Aquarium, where Theo pressed his nose to the glass, mesmerized by jellyfish pulsing like living lanterns. Alex watched from the shadows, torn between resentment and a thawing ache. Ryan asked questions about Theo's allergies, his favorite dinosaur, T-Rex, roaring at bedtime, and shared snippets of his own fractured youth. A father who equated love with ledgers, a mother lost to cancer when he was 12, leaving him to navigate boarding schools alone. One evening, after Theo crashed early from a growth spurt exhaustion, they lingered on Alex's worn couch, a bottle of Pinot Noir from the Columbia Valley between them. The apartment smelled of Theo's mac and cheese and Alex's turpentine, a lived-in chaos Ryan navigated with surprising grace. Why art? Ryan asked, nodding to the walls papered in Alex's illustrations, moody seascapes, figures half lost in mist. Alex swirled his glass, the wine deep as his secrets. It saves me. When words fail, lines don't. He hesitated, then added, that night in Olympia, it wasn't just hate. I saw you, Ryan. The real you under the armor. Ryan's gaze softened, leaning in until their knees touched. I see you now. Stronger than I ever was. His hand found Alex's, thumb tracing knuckles, and the air thickened, charged. Alex pulled away first, heart hammering, but the seed was planted. Complications arose like weeds in spring. Ryan's world intruded. A board meeting ran long, canceling a promised picnic. A tabloid whisper about his mystery artist collaborator drew prying eyes to Alex's gallery show. Worse, Ethan's ghost surfaced. An ex from Ryan's Silicon Valley days. A sharp-featured lawyer who cornered Alex at a Fremont coffee shop, all polished venom. He's using you, sweetheart. Always does. Collects strays till they bore him. Alex laughed it off, but doubt festered. He snapped at Ryan during their next visit, voice low as Theo napped. Is this pity? Some redemption arc for the family man you never were? Ryan recoiled, green eyes flashing. Pity? Christ, Alex, I haven't slept right since the test. I dream of him, of us. This is me fighting for what's mine. The argument escalated, words like shrapnel. Alex accusing Ryan of abandonment. Ryan hurling back tales of Alex stonewalling. Theo woke crying, and in the chaos Ryan stormed out, doors slamming like a verdict. Silence reigned for days, Alex's sketches turning jagged, Theo sensing the shift in clingy hugs. Then a knock at midnight. Ryan drenched, holding a soaked envelope. My father's will. He left everything to me, contingent on legitimate heirs. I told the lawyers about Theo. They want proof. Alex's blood ran cold. You outed him? To them. Not outed, claimed. He's my son, Alex. Our son. Ryan's voice broke, pulling Alex into a desperate embrace, rain mingling with tears. They clung there on the threshold, the line between enemy and ally blurring into something perilously close to love. But as Ryan's car faded into the night, Alex locked the door, whispering to the empty air. What have we done? Winter clamped down on Seattle like a vice, the holidays approaching with their garish lights strung across Pioneer Square, mocking the chill in Alex's bones. Ryan had woven himself into their routine with surgical precision, soccer practices at the grassy fields of Discovery Park, where head cheer louder than any parent, his tie discarded for mud-streaked jeans. Story hours at the Central Library, Theo perched on his lap as Ryan voiced pirates with theatrical flair. Alex observed it all from the periphery, his heart a battlefield of skirmishes, gratitude warring with fear, desire clashing against the scars of solitude. Yet the intrusion bred friction. Ryan's family loomed like storm clouds over the Cascades. His Aunt Victoria, a steel-haired matriarch who helmed the Caldwell Foundation, summoned them to a discussion at the family estate in Medina, across Lake Washington from the city's pulse. The drive was tense, Theo buckled in the back singing off-key carols, while Alex gripped the wheel, Ryan's hand on his thigh a tentative anchor. She'll love him, Ryan murmured. He's a Caldwell. The estate was a modernist fortress of glass and stone, views of the lake glittering like shattered diamonds. Victoria waited in a solarium thick with orchids, her gaze appraising as Theo burst in, offering a finger-painted card. She softened fractionally, but her questions were scalpels. And your arrangement, Alexander? Is this permanent or a phase? Alex bristled, voice steady. Theo isn't an arrangement. He's family. Victoria nodded, but her eyes lingered on Ryan, heavy with unspoken histories. Later, as they toured the grounds, she pulled him aside. He's not like us, dear. Artistic souls burn bright but flicker out. Think of your legacy. Ryan defended him fiercely that night over dinner, plates of salmon from Alaskan waters going cold. Alex is more than enough. He's everything. But the seed of doubt sprouted, Alex overhearing whispers of discreet adoptions and image consultants. Back in the city, the strain manifested in stolen moments. Ryan slipping into Alex's bed after Theo slept, their bodies reconnecting with the urgency born of desperation. One such night, as snow dusted the windows for the rarest of Seattle flurries, Ryan traced the curve of Alex's spine, whispering, "Marry me. Not for show, for us." Alex froze, pleasure curdling to panic. Marriage? We're barely civil half the time. But the other half. Ryan's lips brushed his ear, hand sliding lower. Feels like home. They made love slowly then, rediscovering rhythms, but dawn brought clarity. Alex couldn't bind himself to a man whose world demanded perfection. He deflected with talk of Theo's Christmas list, but the proposal hung, a specter. New Year's Eve brought the first real fracture. Ryan hosted a gala at his Belltown penthouse for Caldwell Innovations partners, insisting Alex attend as creative consultant. Theo stayed with a sitter, and Alex donned a borrowed suit, feeling like an imposter among the venture vultures and starlit influencers. Ryan shone, schmoozing with effortless grace, but his touches lingered, fingers grazing Alex's back. A stolen kiss in the powder room that left Alex dizzy. Then Ethan appeared, arm linked with a silver-haired investor, his smile ablade. Darling Alex. Ryan's latest muse? How quaint. The words slithered out over champagne flutes, Ethan recounting their wild days in the valley, nights of excess, mornings of Ryan vanishing without a trace. He's a collector, love. You're the flavor this season. Alex laughed it off publicly, but inside rot spread. He confronted Ryan in a shadowed balcony alcove, city fireworks blooming below. Is it true? Am I just the next notch? Ryan's face crumpled. Ethan's poison. He left me, not the other way. But I have baggage, Alex. Deals that tie my hands. He confessed the family clause in detail. Heirs must be legitimized for the fortune, a archaic demand from his father's ghost. Theo qualifies, but only if we're together. Officially. Betrayal hit like a gut punch. You proposed for him? Not us. For all of us. Ryan grabbed his arms, eyes wild. The money secures his future school's security. I love you, damn it. Since that bar in Olympia. The words cracked something in Alex, tears hot on his cheeks. Love? You don't even know me. He wrenched free, fleeing into the night, hailing a cab through the revelry. Days of radio silence followed. Alex barricading with Theo at a rented cabin in the San Juan Islands, ferrying over with packed bags and a heart in tatters. The isolation was balm, salty air. Theo collecting driftwood for magic wands. But Ryan's texts pierced. Come back. Please. I'll fix this. On the third night, as aurora-like lights danced faintly overhead, Alex called his old college mentor, Elias, now a tenured prof in Portland. He's using the kid as leverage, Alex vented over crackling line. I thought it was real. Elias chuckled softly. Son, real love's messy. But ask yourself, does he fight for you or just the idea? The question echoed as they returned. Theo oblivious, chattering about seals. Ryan waited at the apartment, disheveled, holding a simple wooden box. Inside, a key to his penthouse and sketches, Alex's own, pilfered from his studio, annotated with Ryan's scrawled notes. This one's eyes are like yours in the morning light. The shadows here? That's how you make me feel alive. I burned the claws, Ryan said, voice hoarse. Told Victoria to shove it. Thea's my son, with or without strings. And you're my choice. Alex wavered, pulling him inside, their kiss fierce and forgiving. But as they collapsed onto the couch, Theo patting and sleepy-eyed, Alex whispered, slow. For him. Spring thawed the ice but not the undercurrents. Ryan moved a duffel into the apartment, testing cohabitation amid Theos Lego minefields. They built a life in increments. Brunches at Le Panier with croissants flaking like promises. Hikes in the Issaquah Alps where Ryan confessed his bisexuality had been a family secret, buried under expectations. Alex shared his own fractures. A coming out at 16 that left his conservative Everett relatives distant, the solace found in art collectives in the U District. Yet Ethan's shadow lingered. He emailed Alex evidence. Photos of Ryan with faceless men. Timestamps from their reconciliation night. He's cheating already. Run. Doubt nod, Alex spying on Ryan's late calls, interpreting every sigh. The climax brewed at Theos Preschool Showcase. A sunny May afternoon in the Fremont Troll Park, where kids performed skits under the concrete beast's gaze. Ryan arrived late, tie askew, claiming traffic, but Alex spotted the lipstick smudge on his collar. Faint coral, not his shade. Confrontation exploded in the car ride home. Theo dozing in the back. Who is she? Alex demanded, voice venomous. Ryan paled. What? No, it's nothing. A client hug, clumsy. Liar. Alex pulled over, tires screeching. Ethan warned me. You're the same snake. Ryan swore, dialing his assistant on speaker. Alibis confirmed, but the damage festered. That night, alone as Ryan packed for a cool-off at his penthouse, Alex sobbed into Theo's hair, the boy's small hand patting his back. It's okay, Daddy. We got dragons. In the wreckage, Alex found clarity. Love demanded trust, not surveillance. He showed up at Ryan's door at dawn, DNA results in hand. Not the old ones, but a new letter from a counselor outlining co-parenting plans. We're equals or nothing. No empires, no heirs. Just us. Ryan pulled him inside, the kiss sealing a vow. But as summer bloomed, a final storm gathered Victoria, invoking legal maneuvers to protect the Caldwell name, threatening custody battles. Summer in Seattle was a fleeting gift. The sun coaxing blooms from Ravenna Park's azaleas while Alex and Ryan navigated their fragile peace like tightrope walkers over the Duwamish. Theo thrived in the warmth, his energy boundless. Bicycle races along the Burke-Gilman Trail. Ice cream cones dripping vanilla rivers at Molly Moon's. Ryan had surrendered his penthouse key, opting for the apartment's chaos, his suits swapped for hoodies stained with sidewalk chalk. They were a unit, tentatively. Mornings of shared coffee, Alex sketching at the kitchen table while Ryan read Theo tales of Lewis and Clark, voices blending in harmony. But Victoria's shadow lengthened. Her lawyers sent cease and desist letters, Veiled threats about unfit environments and moral clauses in Ryan's inheritance. She's desperate, Ryan explained over a picnic at Golden Gardens, the sound lapping at driftwood shores. Fathers will ties the company to family continuity. Theo's the loophole she's trying to seal. Alex fork paused midair. Potato salad forgotten. So she wants to erase us? Because we're not her picket fence fantasy. Ryan nodded grimly, but his eyes held fire. She's losing. I filed papers, joint custody, your name on everything. But ITLL get ugly. Ugly arrived in July, a sweltering heatwave driving them to Alki Beach, where Theo built sandcastles under gulls' cries. Paparazzi swarmed, tipped off by Victoria's camp. Flashes popping like gunfire, reporters shouting. Ryan Caldwell gay dad exclusive? Alex shielded Theo, heart pounding as Ryan roared at them to back off, his security detail a late cavalry. The headlines exploded. Tech heirs scandal. Secret son shakes Caldwell empire. Social media churned, trolls spewing vitriol, allies rallying with rainbow flags. Ryan retreated into boardroom battles, emerging haggard, while Alex fielded calls from his agent. Galleries loved the drama. Book deal offers pouring in. But the toll was intimate. Theo came home from camp with a black eye, tearfully admitting a classmate's taunt. Your dad's weird. Like boy dad weird. Alex's rage simmered into resolve. He pulled Theo onto his lap that night, Ryan joining, their circle of fortress. We're us, kiddo. Weird and wonderful. And that's power. Ryan, inspired, went public in a Verge interview, raw, unfiltered. Love isn't a ledger. It's this boy, this man, rewriting my story. The backlash crested, but so did support. Letters from queer families in the Central District. Donations to LGBTQ youth centers in Ryan's name. Yet betrayal struck from within. Ethan, ever the serpent, leaked forged emails to a gossip site. Alex gold-digging his way into the fortune, timestamps doctored from their early texts. The story went viral. Ryan's board whispering of damage control. Divorce him. Marginalize the liability. Alex found Ryan in the study, head in hands amid spreadsheets. They want me out. Say you're distracted. And Alex's voice trembled. What do you say? Ryan looked up, eyes haunted. I say fight. But Alex, if it costs Theo. Don't. Alex crossed the room, cupping his face. We're worth the war. Their lovemaking that night was a reclamation. Bodies entwined on the study rug, urgent and tender. Whispers of forever amid the chaos. But dawn brought a courier. Victoria's ultimatum. Sign over sole custody or face court. Ryan refused, lawyering up with a fierce queer advocate from Tacoma. The deposition was a gauntlet. Victoria on the stand, painting Alex as unstable, a bohemian drifter per her PI's dossier. Exaggerated tales of freelance struggles, a bar fight from college spun into violence. Ryan testified next, voice steady. Alex is the steadiest man I know. He raised our son alone with grace I envy. Alex took the stand last. Theo waiting in the courthouse play area with a sitter. Under oath he bared his soul. The terror of that first pregnancy, the joy of Theo's first steps, the ache of loving Ryan despite the thorns. He's not perfect. Neither am I. But together, we're home. The judge ruled in their favor weeks later. A humid August afternoon, Victoria's empire intact but her grasp on Ryan severed. She cornered him post-hearing in the marble hallway, voice brittle. You're throwing away legacy for this. Ryan smiled sadly. This is my legacy. Reconciliation came haltingly. A stiff tea at the estate. Victoria gifting Theo a silver compass engraved with Caldwell crests. Navigate wisely, child, she said, her hand lingering on his curls. Alex watched, throat tight as barriers cracked. Fall painted the city in russets, harvest festivals at Pike Place yielding to quieter rhythms. Ryan proposed again, this time on the ferry to Bainbridge, wind whipping as Theo hooped at porpoises. No rings, just words. Build with me. Not because we have to, but because we want. Alex said yes, sealing it with a kiss salt-tanged and sure. But peace was illusory. Ethan's final gambit arrived in October. A paternity challenge claiming insider knowledge of alternative donors, backed by falsified clinic records. The accusation blindsided them at a family dinner in Wallingford, plates of Dungeness crab scattering as Ryan read the summons aloud. "It's him," Alex whispered, fury igniting. "Vengeance for leaving him." Ryan nodded, pale. "He'll pay. But the trial." ITLL dragged Theo through mud. The courtroom loomed like a colossus, but in the interim they fortified. Therapy sessions in a cozy Belltown office, where a soft-spoken counselor unpacked their enmeshments. Ryan's abandonment fears, Alex's trust fractures. Theo drew family portraits, stick figures hand in hand under rainbow suns. As leaves fell in Discovery Park, Alex and Ryan walked alone one dusk, Theo's kite tangled in branches above. "If we lose," Alex ventured, "he'll fight solo again." Ryan stopped, pulling him close. "We want. Because it's not just blood. It's choice." The words anchored them, but as night fell, stars pricking the canopy, Alex felt the weight. Love was a rebellion, hard-won and holy. November winds stripped the maples bare along the I-90 corridor, mirroring the raw exposure of Ethan's trial, a spectacle unfolding in King County Superior Court like a Greek tragedy scripted for cable news. The gallery buzzed with reporters from the Stranger and national outlets, their laptops glowing like accusatory eyes. Alex sat ramrod straight beside Ryan, Theo mercifully shielded at preschool under extra security, his small world untainted for now. Ethan's case unraveled thread by thread, his evidence exposed as photoshopped forgeries by a digital forensics expert, timestamps debunked with server logs. On cross he crumbled, sweat beading under the fluorescence, admitting grudges from a breakup 2 years past. "Ryan discarded me," he spat, "like all his toys." Ryan leaned forward, voice even. "I didn't discard you, Ethan. I grew up." The judge dismissed with prejudice, fining Ethan for frivolous litigation, but victory tasted ashen. Outside, protesters clashed, picket signs decrying corporate queers versus allies chanting for visibility. Alex shoved through, nausea rising, until Ryan bundled him into a waiting car, the drive to Fremont a blur of blurred lights. That night, the apartment felt like a bunker. Theo sensed the strain, curling into Alex's side during story time, whispering, "Bad guys gone, Daddy?" Alex nodded, throat tight, as Ryan watched from the doorway, his silhouette a sentinel. The fallout rippled. Sponsors pulled from Caldwell Innovations, stock dipping like autumn mercury. Ryan pored over damage reports at dawn, coffee cold, while Alex sketched protest scenes. Fierce faces under rain-slicked hoodies, symbols of resilience. "We're okay," Alex murmured one morning, sliding a plate of Theo's heart-shaped pancakes across the table. "Empires fall. Families endure." Ryan looked up, eyes red-rimmed. "But what if mine does? I can't lose you too." The vulnerability cracked Alex open. He knelt, hands framing Ryan's face. "Then we rebuild. Like always." Intimacy returned in waves, tentative then tidal. One stormy evening, as thunder rolled off the Olympics, Theo asleep to white noise rain, they retreated to the bedroom. Ryan undressed Alex slowly, mapping scars, appendectomy from childhood, stretch marks from Theo, with lips and fingers worshipful. "You're my art," he breathed, entering him with a gentleness that bordered on reverence. Alex arched, nails digging crescents, their release a shared sob, cathartic and complete. Winter solstice brought fragile mending. Victoria, humbled by the publicity, hosted a small gathering at her Medina home. Not a gala, but a hearth-lit affair with mulled cider and carols from a hired quartet. She pulled Alex aside amid twinkling evergreens, her grip surprisingly tender. "I was wrong. About legacies. Yours. It's vibrant." Alex nodded, words escaping. "He's worth it. They both are." Theo, oblivious, orchestrated a puppet show with Victorian dolls, Ryan playing the dragon with exaggerated roars, drawing laughter from ants who'd once whispered. As snow flurried outside, the room warmed, barriers dissolving like frost. But beneath the cheer, currents swirled. Ryan's board pressured a rebrand, subtle distancing from the personal drama, to stabilize shares. He confided in Alex over late-night whiskeys at the apartment, fire escape flickering with neighbor Christmas lights. "They want me closeted again. Smiling for cameras, no Theo mentions." Alex set his glass down, fire in his veins. Then walk. You're more than their puppet. Ryan shook his head. Theo needs stability. College funds, safety nets. And soul. Alex challenged, voice rising. What about yours? The argument spilled into the hall, doors creaking open to curious eyes. Ryan stormed to the guest room, now his office slamming files like accusations. Alex retreated to his studio, brush slashing canvas in furious strokes. A fractured mirror reflecting two men, one reaching, one recoiling. Days of frost followed, Ryan sleeping on the couch, Theo shuttling between with worried frowns. Christmas Eve dawned gray, Alex waking to silence. Panic clawed, had Ryan left? But he found him in the kitchen, dough floured on counters, Theo giggling as Ryan shaped gingerbread men. Truce? Ryan asked, offering a misshapen cookie. Alex took it, biting into sweetness. Always. Holidays healed in increments. Tree trimming with ornaments from Alex's childhood farm in Yakima Valley. A drive to Snoqualmie Falls where mist veiled wishes. Ryan confided his counteroffer to the board, diversifying into queer-inclusive tech initiatives, or resignation. Your fire, he told Alex, lit mine. Spring equinox bloomed rebellion. Ryan announced the pivot at a TEDx Seattle talk, stage lights haloing him as he spoke of authentic innovation. Theo beaming from the front row, Alex hand in his. Applause thundered, deals flowed anew but more, a movement with Caldwell as figurehead. Yet personal tempests brewed. Alex's solo show at the Fry Art Museum loomed, themes of hidden paternities drawn from their saga. Critics raved previews, visceral, vulnerable. But opening night brought Ethan uninvited, champagne flute in hand, smirk lethal. Brave Harlan. Exposing your dirty laundry. Ryan intercepted, voice steel. Leave. Or security does. Ethan laughed low. He's mine, you know. That spark? I taught him. The barb landed, Alex flushing, but Ryan turned to him, public yet intimate. He's ours. Always was. The night soared, sales eclipsing expectations, but afterward, in the green room, Alex unraveled. What if he's right? What if I am just borrowed light? Ryan knelt, eyes fierce. You're the sun, Alex. I orbit you. Their kiss silenced doubts, but as they drove home through cherry blossoms, Alex pondered. Love was light, yes, but shadows defined it. Culmination crested in May, Theo's 5th birthday at the Woodland Park Zoo. Giraffes nuzzling hay under blue skies. Amid cake smears and balloon chases, Victoria arrived, gift in hand, a locket with Theo's photo. Grandmother, she said tentatively, and Theo hugged her fiercely. As dusk fell, Ryan pulled Alex to a secluded gazebo, ring box velvet soft. Third time's charm. Marry me, not for boards, not for wills. For the man who makes storms beautiful. Tears pricked. Alex whispered, yes, as fireworks, zoo finale burst overhead. But joy tempered with truth. Ethan sued for defamation, a last venomous lash. The countersuit loomed, but in their bed that night, bodies entwined, Alex murmured. We'll win. Together. Ryan smiled into his neck. We already have. June unfurled in Seattle like a long-held breath. Pride Month parading rainbows down 4th Avenue while Alex and Ryan finalized wedding plans in stolen afternoons. Simple at a Bainbridge vineyard, vows exchanged under arbors heavy with grapes. Theo, flower boy in tiny suspenders, practiced rings with endless glee, oblivious to the legal tempest still churning. Ethan's defamation suit dragged into hearings, his claims of emotional distress, crumbling under evidence of malice, but each court date etched lines on Ryan's face, his empire teetering on activist board votes. Alex anchored him, their mornings a ritual. Coffee on the fire escape, Thea's chatter filling pauses as Alex sketched wedding motifs, intertwined oaks roots delving deep. It's not just ceremony, Alex said one dawn, steam curling from mugs. It's declaration. To the world, to us. Ryan nodded, but worry shadowed his greens. And if the world pushes back? Thea starting kindergarten soon. I can't let headlines haunt him. The fear was valid. Tabloids lingered, dredging college rivalries into toxic origins narratives. Alex countered with his own platform, a memoir outline sold to a progressive press, framing their story as redemption, not scandal. "We own the narrative," he insisted, typing furiously at midnight while Ryan paced. July's heat peaked with Ethan's trial endgame, a blistering afternoon in court where the judge eviscerated his testimony, frivolous and vindictive, awarding Ryan and Alex nominal damages but full legal fees. Ethan slunk out, tail between legs, barred from contact by restraining order. Victory beers at the Pike Brewing Company tasted like absolution. Theo toasting with root beer, foam mustache comical. But elation soured when Victoria's health faltered. A stroke, quiet and swift, landing her in Swedish medical center. Ryan rushed to her bedside, Alex trailing with Theo in tow, the sterile halls echoing their footsteps. She lay frail amid beeps, IVs snaking like regrets. "Foolish old bat," she rasped, eyes on Theo. "Came to say, proud of you both." Ryan choked, gripping her hand. Alex stood sentinel, Thea's small palm in his. "Families bend, Victoria. They don't break." She nodded weakly, gifting Ryan the estate keys, not as leverage but legacy. Build better. Her recovery was slow. A nursing home in Bellevue becoming weekend pilgrimage, Theo charming nurses with drawings. Ryan softened, the manhood armored against her now vulnerable, sharing boyhood tales over her bedside puzzles. Summer sailing the Sound, lessons in resilience masking neglect. August wove normalcy. Family camping at Deception Pass, tents pitched under starry vaults, Thea's first Esmeralda sticky with wonder. Around the fire, Ryan recounted their Olympia night, not as mistake but genesis. "Hate was the mask," he said, embers glowing. "Underneath? This." Alex leaned into him, Thea's head on his lap. "Enemies to anchors. Who'd have thought?" Wedding day dawn crisp, September gold gilding the vineyard rose. Guests sparse, Elias from college, Alex Yakima cousins thawing with wine, Ryan's allies from the tech underbelly. Theo scattered petals like confetti, grinning as Alex walked the aisle in linen suit, Ryan waiting in vest and bow tie, eyes shimmering. Vows poured raw. Ryan's. "You taught me freedom in a single glance, strength in silence. I choose you every dawn." Alex. "You were storm, I was shore. Together we make sea." Rings exchanged, simple platinum bands etched with coordinates of their first bar. The kiss sealed amid cheers, Thea's whoop loudest. Honeymoon was a road trip down Highway 101, coastal drives to Oregon dunes. Theo between them in the backseat, carols blasting off-key. They camped at Cannon Beach, Haystack Rock's sentinel in twilight, making love in the tent to waves' lullaby, bodies familiar yet electric. Back in Seattle, October rains returned, but so did purpose. Ryan launched Harbor Lines, a Caldwell app for queer family resources, fostering matches, legal toolkits, co-branded with Alex illustrations. Launch party at the Olympic Sculpture Park drew crowds. Theo unveiling a mural of diverse hands linked, his tiny brushstrokes amid Alex sweeps. Challenges lingered, boardroom purges of old guards, Victoria's rehab setbacks, but they faced them as triad. Therapy check-ins, date nights at Canlis overlooking the bay, Theo school plays where Ryan hammed as Tree, Alex filming teary-eyed. November circled back, anniversary of Revelation, rain pattering their window as Theo slept. Ryan traced Alex's jaw, voice low. 1 year. Feels like lifetimes. Alex smiled, pulling him close. And more to come. Messy, beautiful. In that quiet, enemies long dissolved, they found grace. Not perfection but presence. Love, they learned, was truest in the fractures, mending with compassion, carving space for authenticity amid America's vast, varied tapestry. For Theo, who'd inherit not fortunes but fortitude. For them, a bond forged in fire, enduring as the sound itself.